Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new, I'm Nyx with Chromates Apothecary, and today I'm bringing you a tarot pick-a-card reading where we are going to be getting into our August predictions and what it is that's going to be coming toward us in August. So starting on the far left, we have the True Black Tarot deck along with this Howlite representing group number 1. Next, with the Art Nouveau Tarot deck and this Black Tourmaline, this is going to be representing group number 2. Beside that, we have the Rider-Waite Tarot deck and the Sunstone representing group number 3. And lastly, we have the Crow Tarot and this Zebra Jasper representing group number 4. Feel free to pause the video and take a couple of moments to meditate on the decks that I have laid out before you, and then when you've made a decision, head on down to the description box below and click on the timestamp that corresponds with the group that you chose. Remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick-a-Card readings in the future, and I will see you guys in your reading. Hello group number 1. So welcome to your reading all about your August predictions. If you chose the True Black Tarot deck along with this Howlite, then this is going to be your reading. And in with this Howlite, this is really here to help you bring new ideas into focus, and it can also be very beneficial for those of you who are feeling extremely overworked. So this is going to remain here for the rest of our reading today. And I'm going to get straight into your reading. So what I am seeing from your August predictions is that you are going to be going through, I'm seeing, a fairly rough time throughout the beginnings and middle of August. However, you're going to be ending on a very positive and uplifting note. So the reason why I'm saying all this is because we are seeing the cards in this order. We have the Ten of Swords, the Star in the reverse position, the Five of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, and then lastly, the Wheel of Fortune or the Destiny card. So let's go ahead and kind of dissect this. So we are looking at the Ten of Swords firstly, and with this card here, this is very much a feeling as if you are seeing some sort of loss. There's some kind of ending, or there's some sort of defeat on your end where you are kind of hit with something and you are faltering. You're not sure where to go beyond this point. It can also indicate things such as feeling like you have been sort of taken advantage of a little bit, like maybe backstabbed a little bit, and it's really a hit where you just feel extremely like at a loss kind of thing. So in this card here, this is sort of indicative of a rough start, and what I'm seeing is that you could possibly be feeling this sense of like hopelessness beyond this because of what happens here in the Ten of Swords. We're seeing in the Star reversed that it could be that you are filled with a sense of despair or just disencouragement from being able to make any sort of progress on anything that you had progress on previously. So it could be that there is a very sudden thing that happens at the beginning of August that's really going to cause this. So I'm seeing that this could be something like maybe you are suffering the loss of a job, or one that has recently happened and you're still kind of floundering. It could be a betrayal in a friendship or also a relationship of some sorts as well. So with the Star in reversed, this is also here that's as a kind of like an indicator where, again, it is that faltering, it is that feeling like, is there anything that's going to go right for me? Like, is the universe just punishing me for whatever reason? And we're seeing further beyond in with the Five of Pentacles in reverse, though, is that this is indicative of some sort of recovery from either like an actual financial loss, which is why I brought up the potential of having lost a job, or it's that there is a return to you needing to dig deep and work on your spiritual losses as well. So it's possible that at the beginning of the month, or maybe from previous months, you have been dealing with a loss of a job and you're going through this like hopelessness, but then you find something that is going to bring about a change in that sense. It's going to bring you more monetary value, and it's going to be able to replenish you once more. And then next we are seeing in the Page of Wands in the reverse position that there is this feeling as if you have like a lack of direction. You aren't sure exactly where to go or what to do. You could be feeling very like pessimistic about things because it's almost seeming like no matter what I do, I'm not getting back what I'm putting out there, is the feeling that I'm getting. It's kind of this you really want to progress forward on something, but it just feels like every step that you take is just not fulfilling you in the way that you want. But I'm seeing that you're only struggling with that up to a certain point, because I'm seeing the universe in this card coming in with such an intensely strong energy to really bring about that life cycle and that change that needs to happen. I think that the universe has your back. It's going to be supporting you through this, but in a way where you need to trust it, but it's very hard to want to trust what's happening, because it just feels so dark and heavy, and it's making you like want to not like try to pursue things that you were interested in pursuing, or not want to like try anymore kind of thing. But there's a reason behind it. There's something going on in the background of your life that the universe has a hold of, and it is trying to work you toward what it is that you need to learn in order to progress further. So in the Wheel of Fortune, or the Destiny card, this is all about karma. So if you have been trying to put out good energy and working on things and really trying your best to stay positive, it is going to come back around and meet you, and it's going to finally be able to lift you up. However, if you have been more negative, or trying to take things out on other people, or not trying at all for yourself, you could be met with more struggles. So this is really about weaving your own destiny. So this is why it's great to see things like this, as it's just a warning. This stuff doesn't have to be like the end all be all. This isn't written into the stars or anything. This is here to just help guide you toward a better outcome. And really, with the Destiny card coming out at the end of this really heavy reading, I'm not seeing this as a negative thing. I'm very much seeing this as the Wheel of Fortune is finally turning to, it's using this turning point to give you this good luck, to give you this like change in your life cycle, to where things are finally going to be looking up for you. So I'm really seeing a positive outcome, even though I feel like you're going to be going through a lot of struggles throughout August. So it's not going to be easy. I'm just seeing this almost as a test from the universe, and this is kind of like the judgment at the end of it. It's kind of trying to push you towards doing better and being better for yourself. So I'm going to pull a few more clarifying cards as well for you. And we're also going to look for advice, but first we're going to pull some clarification cards. What has been going on? What is happening at the beginning of August that's causing all of this? The Nine of Cups is coming out. What's going on in the middle of this month? Some clarity for the middle of the month. The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position. And then what's happening at the end of this month? The Four of Cups. Okay. So we are seeing here In the Nine of Cups upright, this card here coming out is showing that there is some wish that's being fulfilled and there's some sort of happiness and satisfaction that comes from this card. So I'm thinking that with things that are going on here and the fact that this is a clarification card, it reads so opposite that my mind immediately went to this is your higher self, especially even the placement that I put on the cards, is that I'm getting this feeling that this is from your higher self that's trying to indicate to you that this is going to be something that is going to eventually bring you happiness and satisfaction. However, it feels weird because it is such a immediate hit to yourself that like it's hard for you to see that this is a good thing. You know what I mean? Where like, have you ever had an instance where something bad has happened to you, but then like later down the line in your hindsight you went, oh wait a minute, I avoided like some like worse tragedy, or I was able to actually like have a better experience that I thought I was going to have. I'm seeing this kind of as your higher self letting you know that what it is that you're going through is going to make you stronger and it's going to eventually make you happier. But right now, you obviously are going through this intense struggle. I'm also getting this feeling that this card is here to kind of let you know that it is going to be better, because I think especially with like the Ten of Swords and then the Star in reversed, since these are such heavy cards, they want you to focus on the positives again instead of trying to just bring you down even more and even more. The other thing that this could indicate is that it could be heavily tied to your emotions. So it could be that I'm seeing the mental side of things and then the emotional side of things with the swords and the cups, is that you could be just going through such mental turmoil that it's making your emotions come out very heavily and making it so it's very hard for you to process your emotions. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, is during this first part of the month, it could be extremely hard for you to focus on those things in a positive way. In the middle of the month, we've got the Ten of Pentacles in the reverse position, and we're seeing this as some sort of loss again. So with this card here, the 5 is about having a change in your financial state, like a recovery. But then this card here, I'm seeing this one as almost being like you it feels so weird because it feels like you're gonna be able to make money, but it's in a different way than what you had been. So that's why I'm feeling really strongly that this is tied to some sort of job situation, because this can obviously mean like financial failure, but it can also be like loneliness and loss. So I think you are going to be making money you're either gonna be making less money than you had, and it's gonna feel weird because you're gonna be away from like your usual coworkers and everything. But I do think that this is sort of a turning point in your life. Again, another thing that you have to go through in order to change and realize like what you do have. And I think this is about also working in a way that actually works for you. I think before I think you were going through intense burnout. So something was happening where you were pushing yourself to the edge over and over and over again, and you have reached such an intense level of burnout that the universe sort of forced your hand, and now you're on the recovery from that. And then lastly, we're seeing in the Four of Cups here, this figure is being offered a cup and they're just kind of sitting there kind of thing. It's mostly because they're kind of trying to really evaluate whether or not they want to take this opportunity, like take this cup that's being offered to them. So this card is about you sitting back and really reevaluating your life and really contemplating what it is that you actually want out of your life and what makes you happy. So this is great to have at the end of the month because you are going through all of these things that at the end you're finally able to sit back and be like, okay, well, where do I want to go from here? You may be coming at it with like not as much enthusiasm as you would want, but you are at least able to unclouded look at your life and be able to make decisions from this point. I'm going to pull a couple of advice cards as well. So what's some advice that we can give for group number 1 and what's going on? Some advice for group 3. Not all of these, please. Thank you. So we're seeing the Hermit. We're seeing the Five of Pentacles, which it's showing up on top of the Five of Pentacles in the reverse position. So yeah, I really think there was a situation where like you either had some bad investments or you lost a job and you are now living in a different setup than you are used to, and it's really making it hard, but we'll touch base on that in a second. Firstly, we're going to start with the Hermit. So the Hermit is here to really indicate that this is a good time for you to do some like soul searching. This is really a good time for you to focus on your inner self and what is guiding you toward, like where you're guiding yourself basically. And it's also a card that really gives me the same feelings as the Four of Cups. It's that sitting back and kind of taking things in. You're really having a lot of moments of introspection, so you're able to sit there and focus on your inner world and what's been going on. And you can also be spending more time alone instead of around other people because you're trying to sort things out for yourself. And then we have the Five of Pentacles here coming out again. This one can deal with worries about money. It can deal with some sort of financial loss. So the fact that this is so heavily aligned with Pentacles, with money and everything, is I'm really thinking that you are very, very worried about some sort of issue having to do with a job or a career kind of thing. Maybe you're trying to decide what kind of career moves you should be making. Maybe you had to step down from a position to one that gives you like less money because you weren't mentally able to cope with what you were doing. Or it could be that you lost a job entirely and now you're sort of picking up the pieces from that point. But I'm seeing that this needed to happen because you hit a breaking point. You weren't listening to yourself before, and because of that, you're kind of, because you're somebody who pushes yourself so hard, you are now sort of stuck in this situation here. I don't think that this is a forever thing. I don't see this as something that is going to remain for long. It's just a temporary thing, and it's something that you can and will work through, but there is a reason why it hit you so hard. But we're seeing these repeat pentacles, so we're definitely seeing issues with money in August, whether it's you learning to live below your means, or if it's something that like you have just some sort of financial loss. You just have to be prepared for that and make sure that you have everything in a row so you aren't struggling when you get to this point. Lastly, we are seeing the Three of Pentacles in the reverse position, and this one here is generally that you're kind of, again, you're working alone. So this card normally means that you are not working in a team kind of thing. You're not really caring to listen to other people and their advice and everything. So in this one here, it could be indicating that you're working alone. But as for advice with these cards is I definitely say looking within and really being completely honest with yourself in what you want and what you need out of life and what you're capable of doing in life, and actually listening to yourself there. You here in the Pentacles is re-examining what your relationship is to money. because I think that we all as a society care about money way too much, and you are now having to learn how to live in this like this change of money. And I think that you being able to look within and relearn a few things can help you work through why you see this as such a loss. And then lastly, here in the Three of Pentacles reversed is, yes, working alone on things, especially when it deals with yourself, is extremely important. But if somebody is trying to reach out to you and help you, is my advice is just make sure that you stay open to their help or open to their advice. Try not to shut yourself off from other people, because there are people around you who have maybe been in the same position, and you should be able to rely on others, especially friends or family, and you should be able to take their advice and try to use it for your own instead of just like tossing it to the side kind of thing. So we're going to pull a few more cards. Any last messages for group number 1 for August? A few flew on the floor, but I liked this card here. This new moon says, I open my heart and set my intentions. So it might be a good time for you to be just very, very honest with yourself and try to allow yourself to set new intentions for a new chapter of your life, because I'm really seeing this Wheel of Fortune, this Destiny card coming out as an intense message of things are changing and you have to be ready for it. So you can't go into this new chapter of your life thinking that all the same things are going to happen to you as they did before in your past, or like going in with that same mindset. I think you're doing like an overhaul on yourself in order to have a better situation. And then we're also seeing the throat chakra coming out, which says truth and communication. So again, being extremely truthful to yourself, really listening to yourself honestly, instead of just sort of being like, oh, well, this is how this always goes, or no, I can't do that. Try to shut down anything that's negative and try to focus on what you truthfully want out of life, and then take those steps to reach that point, to finally get yourself there. And we're going to pull a few self-care cards for you as well, because obviously this is going to be a rough time and we want to make sure that you can have something to look forward to during this time. This kind of feels like a hold on as best you can month, is the feeling that I'm getting. We have 2 cards coming out. So the first one here is spend time with animals. So either if you have a pet, or if you are able to volunteer and take care of animals, or if you have friends that you can like watch their pet or take them out for a walk or something, this might be a great time, because animals can be so in tuned with our emotions, especially ones that we're close to, like our pets, and they can really bring about a sense of calm as well. So I think that that would be something that you could do that can really help you during this month. And then we also have nourish your temple. So in this card here is really pay attention to how foods make you feel when you ingest them. And also, if you know something hurts you when you eat it, try to avoid those things during this month, because I feel like anything that you could do that's going to make you feel better is just going to take the ease off of this month. So if you're somebody who's like, yeah, I eat fast food, but every time I do, it really, really hurts me because you have like a dairy or gluten intolerance or something, then maybe try to avoid those foods. It's like, yes, there's the serotonin of, ooh, I get to have a naughty treat, but then it hits you afterwards where it really, really hurts you. So try to focus on things that whenever you eat them, they make you feel good about yourself, instead of obviously feeling weighed down or just feeling bad about yourself. And then I'm going to pull one of these cards here. We have this card that says The only illusion of death is that it is an ending. Live as if your choices will always matter, because really, truthfully, our choices do always matter. And I love the death card in tarot because it is all about change. It's about a transition of sorts and things that need to end so you can have a new beginning. And I really think that is what is being called for toward you, is that you need to go through some sort of ending to something and then having a new beginning. And I really see that here in this card as well. I'm also going to roll these astro dice just for any last messages. So this could be you, your sun, moon, or rising, or someone in your life that could be important to you. So the first one that we have coming out is Aries. Next one we have coming out is Virgo. And then lastly, we have Libra coming out. So I like to say that if you have a plan of attack, and if you are able to speak to yourself truthfully, honestly, and like very, very raw, you're gonna be able to make it to this point where towards the end of August, you're going to have almost like an epiphany moment and almost like realize like all the things that need to change in your life in order to bring about this newness, this new like beginning from this ending. I'm really seeing a chapter closing and a new one opening for you. So if you liked this reading or it resonated with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more Tarot Pick a Card readings in the future. And also, if you'd like to, put a little cat emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did reach this point in your reading. I am wishing the best for you, and I hope that you are able to go through the month of August with grace and love, and I will see you in our next video. Have a great day. Hello, group number 2. So if you chose the Art Nouveau tarot deck along with this black tourmaline, then this is going to be your reading all about your August predictions and what's coming your way. So with this black tourmaline here, this is very much a helpful crystal when it comes to removing like negative energy. So if there's been this really heavy, dark feeling around you, this is here to help ground yourself and remove obviously all of that negative energy and all of that darkness. It can also help to boost your self-confidence as well. So we're going to set that there for you for the remainder of the reading, and let's get right into it. So your cards that I have laid out, you obviously have a very strong reading going into the month of August. We are seeing 4 out of 5 of these cards are major arcana, so these are some really intense messages that are coming through. So starting on the far left, we have the Star in the reverse position. Next to that, we have the Hermit. Then we have the Ace of Wands, the Emperor, and then lastly, we have the Sun. So I am seeing this as the time all throughout the month of August. So we're starting here on the left with kind of the beginning of August, and what I'm really seeing is that you may be going through this time where you kind of feel a little bit hopeless, like maybe you aren't certain where your life is going, you kind of just don't really have a plan that's in place, or you're feeling like just all the things that you've put your faith and energy into is not reciprocating it back toward you. And it's making it really hard for you to want to keep going down this path. I'm seeing you as someone who really wants to hope and like reach for the star. Obviously, you're somebody who really wants that, but it's just not coming to you. And this is really making you feel like really disappointed in the beginning of August. It's almost as if like you may have heard bad news. There may have been something that fell through, like a friendship or a relationship, and it's really making you question your life and question the way that you've been going. But then we're seeing in the Hermit that you are willing to do a little bit of kind of like alone time. So you're really willing to be alone for a period of time where you're looking in on yourself, you're doing some soul searching, and you're trying to figure out exactly what it is that you want out of life, what it is that you want to push yourself toward next, what goals that you want. And you're actually going to be listening to your inner self for once. I'm getting this feeling like you're finally going to be able to rely on yourself a little bit more instead of needing to focus on external forces. It's going to come from within, this sort of change that you want to go through, because we're seeing more in the middle of August that there is going to be this really like sudden burst of inspiration. There's kind of like this epiphany moment where you're going to have this new beginning and you're going to start to go on a new journey. So if there's something that you have been thinking about, use this time towards the beginning of the month with the Hermit so you can actually kind of push yourself in the right direction and really be able to support yourself through this new segment of time. But we're seeing that you are doing that with like such a strong ability. You have this solid like foundation, you have this structure for yourself to be able to rule from this point as the emperor here, and you're going to be able to again really rule over it, and you are going to be the leader kind of thing. I'm not seeing it as anybody else is coming in. They're not swooping in and trying to like whisk you away or anything. You are the person that's going to help you stand on your own 2 feet and accomplish your goals. And why I say that is because we have the sun showing up at the end of the reading. So down in the later part of August, we are seeing this intense positivity. We're seeing this success story, just all this fun and like warmth that is surrounding you. So I really believe that you are going to have this upswing of positivity like come into your life during the month of August. We're definitely starting out more on the lower side, but if you are focusing on yourself, you're going to be able to reach just this great pinnacle of happiness for yourself. So we're gonna pull a few cards. This is going to be I'm going to go for like some clarification cards. So in our previous reading, we actually got some messages from our higher self. So that's kind of what I'm going to look for. So we're going to look for why you may be going through these things and what can point you in the right direction. So we're seeing the 7 of Swords for the beginning of the month, the Knight of Cups in the reversed for the middle of the month, and then what about at the end of the month? From your higher self, what are some things that we can get some messages from higher self? We've got the 10 of Cups in the reverse position. So with this 7 of Swords coming out, this is as if something, yeah, like it kind of feels like there's some sort of breakup of like a friendship or breakup of maybe a relationship even, where it feels kind of like someone betrayed you, and it's like they kept information away from you and you found that out towards the beginning of the month, and now it's making you feel like just really gross and like you can't have this person in your life, and that's why you're feeling this way in the star. So I think that your higher self knows that there's something going on, and maybe you're just not listening to yourself. Like maybe you're kind of seeing red flags, but you are just like, oh, but I really like this person, so I'm not going to say or do anything. But then there's something that happens that really makes you open your eyes. This card can also tie in a little bit with the Hermit in the sense that it can also mean something close to like being stealthy and like sneaky kind of thing. So I'm seeing stealth as in you are hiding away. So you are taking you're taking yourself and pulling it away from this situation, from other people, so they no longer see your movements. It's just the message that I'm getting, is that very much like you are pulling away because you want to focus on yourself. And then we have in the Knight of Cups in the reverse position here is that there could be this bit of time where maybe you are feeling a little bit like moody. It could be that you're feeling like you have all these big goals that are so huge that they almost seem unrealistic to you. And you could be holding yourself back in that sense where you're trying to suppress yourself. And I really don't think that this is the time that you need to do that. I think that this is the time where you can dream as big as you want and really just work through those dreams, because I'm seeing such positivity with the Emperor and the Sun over here that I think your higher self is warning you to not think small, is kind of like the feeling that I'm getting with this card. Is like, obviously we want to be realistic in the sense of like, what can we legitimately accomplish? But I think that it's here to warn you, just like, hey, put everything out on the table. Don't try to play it safe or anything like that. And then lastly, towards the end of the month, we're seeing this Five of Cups in the reverse position. And in this card here, this is kind of a moment where you are moving on from some sort of grief, or you're finally learning to accept, like, forgive and forget kind of situation. Maybe not forget, but at least forgiving. So I'm seeing that you know a situation that's going on, that you are towards the end of the month, you're going to finally come to terms with this situation, and you're going to be able to allow this positivity to take over instead of like wallowing in this moment here in the Five of Cups. I'm also seeing too that it could be that you are learning to forgive yourself for your emotions and how you were acting in this earlier part of the month. You're going to be able to kind of let go of how you, like, maybe you thought that you were acting out or something like that. But I really think that you're going to recognize that, no, you went through something hard and you were allowed to act that way or seem unstable kind of thing. So I think that this is just another message from your higher self that you know what's going on, but you're eventually going to reach a point that is healthy and helpful for you. I'm also going to pull some advice cards. So what advice can we get for group number 2 for the month of August? We're seeing the Five of Pentacles in the beginning. Oh my gosh, not all of these. It's the Five of Pentacles. The Six of Swords. And lastly, the Ten of Pentacles. That's a beautiful one to end off on. So we have in the Five of Pentacles here this sort of like a time of isolation. It is giving me like hermit vibes. It could be that you are worried about finances, or it could be that you had to step away from something that is going to cause an issue in your like financial like health, that is going to make you a little bit worried and stressed out. I do think it's going to be okay for you in the end, but it is something that maybe just be careful of who and what you spend your money on during the month of August. Also, I believe that with this being advice, it could be that it's telling you not to worry as much, and also maybe leaning into that isolation kind of thing. It's like, obviously we don't want to be so isolated that we don't have like a support system or something. I just think that there are certain people in your life that you know are moving shady, and you need to pull yourself away from those people and allow yourself to do some soul searching. We have here in the Six of Swords that this is kind of an indication that This is like a rite of passage card. This is almost like you don't want to have to move on from something, but you know that it needs to happen. So it's very much like you wish things could have gone differently, or you wish you didn't have to like quit a job or move away from a certain situation, but you know that it's going to be better for you in the future. So that's kind of like the vibe I'm getting, is that someone is moving shady and they are deceiving you in some way. You recognize it and you have to let them go. You obviously don't want to, because you were either friends with them or in a relationship with them, but it's going to inevitably bring you to this point of just you being way more happy, kind of thing. So this could be a sign of that, because we're lastly seeing in the 10 of Pentacles that this is about an extreme sense of like wealth or being around lots of family. So it could be that you were so worried about a money situation, but then you end up getting a new job, or yeah, like say you move and you get a new job kind of thing. It could be bringing you so much more benefit there, or you find a new way on how to make money that you wouldn't have been able to, because maybe you had friends that were not being supportive of you, and then after you cut them away, you were able to find this like more intense wealth and feeling more of a connection with either your family or your found family as well. So that's what I'm seeing for these so far. I'm gonna pull these cards for any last messages. So for group 2, what other messages do we have? We have Sacral, which says creativity and self-love. So really being able to focus on yourself during this month is going to be amazing. I think that you do need to do some self-love, self-reflection. So definitely give yourself that during the month. We also are seeing Cancer coming out, which says nurturing, loyal, and sensitive. So this could be you or your sun, moon, or rising. It could also be somebody in your life as well that could be there trying to be nurturing toward you. As we mentioned before with family, it could be somebody in your family that you have a really strong connection with, could be a Cancer, because I'm seeing them as like taking care of you during this time as well. So I'm not seeing this maybe as somebody who's here. It could be that, but I'm seeing it more as someone who's trying to take care of you during this span of time. They're recognizing that you're going through a hard time, and they want to be there to support you as you move into more of this positive growth for yourself. I'm going to pull a couple of self-care cards as well. So with some self-care for group number 2 to get them through August. Firstly, we have Hydrate coming out. So obviously, if you are somebody who doesn't normally drink water, maybe focus on drinking some water during the month of August. Try to get in all of the water that you need. I also like to see the Hydrate card as you taking care of your emotions, because water is so heavily linked to emotions. So definitely make sure you are taking care of your emotions as well during this time. We're also seeing Take a Walk coming out. So this can really help you clear your mind and is very good when it comes to that sort of like hermit, like soul searching sort of vibes, is that it could be a great time for you to go out into nature and really take in the sights and sounds and all of the visuals of, like, say you see symbols of like animals, like multiple animals or something. This could be a time for you to go into nature and really kind of get some vibes from the outside and really align yourself to yourself during this time. I'm also going to pull one of these cards here. We have, this one says, be weirder. It will keep you sane, seriously. So for this card, I like to see it as you being just your authentic self, really allowing yourself to be you and lean into those weird parts of you that make you unique, because if you try to keep yourself like prim and proper all of the time, that's gonna just weigh you down kind of thing. And especially when you want to go towards this positive, bright, like sun and emperor future kind of thing, is that you can't do that by holding yourself back. So just allow yourself to just be a little bit odd. It's totally fine. I'm going to roll these astro dice a few times for any last messages, any last signs that we could be seeing. So the first one we're seeing is Aquarius. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising. Next we have Capricorn coming out. And then lastly, we have, that almost went off the table, Sagittarius. So again, those could be your sun, moon, or rising, or it could be somebody in your life, maybe in your support system, or maybe people that you're trying to get rid of. Could be any of those signs as well. So I'd say during the month of August, just make sure you remember to take care of yourself, like live your absolute truth. Don't deal with people's crap, and just make sure that you know that you are going to be better off without all of this like toxic behavior. You're going to be doing a lot better in the future when you do release these people, and just know that you've got this. Like, it's not something that's going to stay. It's a very temporary upset that's going on in your life. And if you'd like to, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And you can also leave a little like splashing water emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you did reach this point in your reading. I hope you guys have a great August, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Have a great day. Hi, group number 3, and welcome to your reading all about your August predictions. So if you chose the Rider-Waite Tarot deck along with this piece of sunstone, then this is going to be your reading. And with this sunstone here, this is really a super joyful stone. It can really help lift dark moods, or it can really help to encourage like optimism and enthusiasm in situations. So I'm going to set that there for you to view during your reading. And the cards that we have laid out for you is the Six of Wands in the reversed position, the Queen of Pentacles, the Chariot in the reverse position, the Five of Wands, and lastly we have the Five of Wands in the reverse position, and then lastly we have the Five of Swords upright. And with these cards here, I'm kind of seeing this as kind of the time frame among the entire month of August. So we're seeing the beginning, the middle, and then the end. So starting out, with the Six of Wands in the reverse position, this is kind of giving me this feeling like you possibly have maybe some sort of like lack of confidence when it comes to the situation that you're currently in. There could be a sort of situation where maybe something happened and you're being looked upon by other people as if like they were like, oh, well, I didn't think that they would do or say that sort of thing. And it's kind of making you feel a little weird, because now you're put in this position of like, oh, like, does everyone dislike me now kind of thing. But I think it's more of a moment where it's in your head and it's making you feel a little bit just like off, instead of being anything really out there and direct. So I think just at the beginning of August, you might have a bit of a shaky start, or it's possible that this could indicate someone around you. So for some people, it could be that you are feeling that about somebody in your life, and it's kind of making it feel as if like, if you were starting to get to know this person, whether it was like a friendship level or maybe a relationship, you could possibly be looking on them now with a little bit of like maybe nervousness, like you're not sure if they're exactly showing you all the parts of themselves, because they kind of like, maybe they stepped out of line with something, and now you're sitting there rethinking all of the situations that you had with them. So I'm getting very strong vibes from some people that it could be that they're the one in this position, and then for others that it could be somebody in their life does something that does this kind of like, it kind of sways your opinion on them a little bit. But really it's just a temporary like lapse of judgment, or just like a temporary fall from grace kind of moment where eventually things are going to pick back up and they're going to right themselves once more. So we're seeing next to that we have the Queen of Pentacles, and she is very much like the like mother type card. She's very down to earth. She's very secure in herself. She's able to provide for herself and other people. So I'm seeing this as you are able to be providing for yourself, and you're going to be able to lead from this very practical mindset. So it's very possible that this is just this like temporary moment, and because you know yourself so well and you're so secure in yourself, that you kind of are able to overlook this little blunder moment, either from your side, something that you've done, or something that someone else has done, because you just have this confidence and this down to earth security as the Queen of Pentacles. We're seeing a little bit more in the middle of the month, though, with the Chariot in reverse, that things are going to slow down a bit. So if you were working on something like some sort of project, creative venture, or say you are having this situation with a person, I'm seeing it as kind of really slowing down, and you're not making like a lot of movement. And it's possible that it's just because there isn't this very like clear sense of direction that you want to go in, and it's kind of making you flounder a little bit. We're also seeing in the Chariot reversed that this could be that there's maybe a period of time where there is some sort of aggression that is happening. And the reason why I'm seeing that is I'm thinking that this is having to do with a few people, because beside the Chariot reversed, we have the Five of Wands in the reverse position, and this is generally some sort of conflict avoidance. So it's very possible that there's something going on that's involving another person around the middle of the month that is making you a little bit wary. I don't know if this is another flare with this person, or if this is a separate situation where you are trying to really avoid having to have this conflict, and instead you're trying to focus more intensely on yourself. However, we are seeing in the Five of Swords right next to it that this is yet another conflict card, and this is generally a card that comes with some sort of tension or some sort of loss. So what I'm seeing is that I believe that there is somebody that is moving a little shady in your life, and it's possible that you try to ignore this a little bit more, but then you're seeing these things resurge, and you are trying to decide if you want to stand up for what you believe in and really set clear boundaries, or if you are trying to avoid the situation because you don't want to deal with a sort of loss. But we are seeing in the Five of Swords that you can kind of see that this figure here looks a little bit like sneaky. He's like, they're looking over their shoulder at the defeated opponents kind of thing. And they're definitely kind of like, it's giving this feeling as if they have like betrayed people around them. So just be very, very careful during the month of August. I think that you are going to be able to rely on the Queen of Pentacles. You're going to be able to rely on what you know and what you're able to provide for yourself to keep yourself safe during this month. So just be very careful when it comes to people and relationships in particular, and what that could mean, especially if there's somebody that's kind of stirring the pot, if there's somebody that's trying to cause issues in your friendship. It might be good to look at them with a more critical eye, instead of just like allowing them to let them do what they want kind of thing. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards that we're going to focus on your higher self. So kind of like really clearing the air about what these situations are. Get some help from your higher self for group 3 on these situations. So we've got the Nine of Cups coming out towards the beginning of the month. We're seeing the Hermit in the reverse position towards the middle of the month. And then lastly, we are going to pull one more card toward the end of the month, just one card. The Knight of Pentacles, the reverse position. So what I'm kind of seeing here is that in the Nine of Cups, I'm getting this feeling of this card is about like comfort, and it's about being satisfied with everything. Like you can see that they have like these cups are filled with all sorts of different things. So every aspect of your life is going to be fulfilled. I'm seeing it as, because this is from your higher self, they're kind of letting you know that that you can provide for yourself. I'm really getting this feeling like you are the person that has the control over this situation when it comes to yourself. So no matter what is going on around you, you're going to be okay. If this isn't you that this is indicating, then it's someone who's in your life that's willing to take care of you and that you are going to be sheltered by them. But for the majority of you, I'm getting this feeling like this is coming from you and that you are the one who's able to do this. Again, if you're younger and you don't have everything sorted out, it could be maybe a mother type figure in your life. It doesn't necessarily need to be your mother, but it could be somebody that just has this motherly kind of energy that is taking care of you. I'm also seeing with this, it's kind of like this needs to happen because we have the Nine of Cups is very much like a happy card. It's very much like you're satisfied with things. So I think that it's like I think you really knew something was going on and it finally like came to light. And so you're kind of happy that it's come to light because now you have reasons to move a certain way and you're justified in the way that you feel. In the middle of the month here, especially combined with the Chariot in the reverse position, we have the Hermit reversed as well. And this is giving me feelings like you really need to slow down. And in the Hermit reverse, this is about like feeling lonely and withdrawing in on yourself, being really isolated. But the difference between this card and the upright version is upright is very much about using that time to do some soul searching and introspection. So I think that it's warning you not to withdraw from everyone and find yourself in this point of being so like isolated and lonely. Instead, you should do it in a way that's going to be productive for you. So really reflecting on yourself, like after the situation has happened, using the time in the middle of the month to reflect on what has gone on and still try to rely on people instead of pulling away so harshly. So your higher self is trying to warn you that if this is something that you do as a way to protect yourself, or you just don't know how to talk about your feelings with other people, it's here to let you know just to avoid the more extreme side of things. So instead of being so super withdrawn, just try to use it as a time to decompress and just register what's been happening. Lastly, we have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse position, and with this card here is that this card is about like feeling stuck again and possibly about feeling very bored. It could be that you are just really not wanting to do a lot of work and everything. So I'm seeing from your higher self is that they're saying that you need to put in some work. I think with moves going on, especially involving people, you can't afford to be lazy. You can't afford to be uninvolved is the major like feeling that I'm getting. It's like you have to have your hand in this in order to benefit from whatever is happening here. So you do have to be very careful when it comes to watching other people and their movements, and try not to get wrapped up in feeling paranoid. Though we don't want you thinking that everyone's out to get you, because I don't think that's what it is. I just think there's one specific person that is maybe involved in your friend group, or maybe they talk about you to other people, and you just have to be careful about letting them back in your life if you guys haven't been talking, or allowing them to make you feel a certain way, kind of thing. So that's the vibes I'm getting. So I'm looking for advice now for group 3. What advice can we give group 3 for August? This first card we have is the Four of Wands in the reverse position. What advice can we give to group 3? We also have the Eight of Cups and one last one. And this final card coming out is the King of Cups in the reverse position. So starting over here, we have the Four of Wands reverse, and this card is kind of like, it could mean an issue where you're having a hard time in communicating with other people. So again, especially with the Six of Wands reversed here, it could be that maybe you're having a hard time getting your point across to a certain person, whether it's you in this card or it's another person. It could be that you're having a really hard time just being able to communicate with them in any way that's beneficial to you, in any way that's working for you. It can also be that there is a need for some sort of transition, but overall I see this card as one that's to have some sort of celebration. So it's not a very outward celebration. It's not one that you're sharing with a whole bunch of people. It's generally something that you are celebrating yourself. And so I think it's fine to celebrate for yourself, especially if you are able to recognize things that are going on and try to curb them before they get worse. With the Eight of Cups here in the center, we are seeing that there is some sort of disappointment and some sort of sense of withdrawal. Again, it's kind of like the Hermit vibes here, this stuck Chariot reversed energy. And it could really be a time where you can fall upon this sense of escapism that maybe you go through when you are feeling like you need to pull away from certain situations. So I'm seeing here that the advice for this card is, I would say that if you are needing a time to pull away, is don't fall into any usual trappings where you are not being productive completely, like where you're just going to go off and stop doing any sort of creative work, or stop like trying to progress yourself further, kind of thing. Like, you're allowed to do a little bit, but don't fall for that trap of being like, oh well, I'd just be better if I was just here 100% of the time. It's good to have a refractory period where you need to process things and do some soul searching and everything, but then you have to be able to bounce back from that. And lastly, we're seeing in the King of Cups reversed that there is, I'm getting this feeling that because this card is coming out along with all of these other like conflict cards, this could be trying to give you the advice to avoid being emotionally manipulative or being moody, like allowing your emotions to take control of this situation. Because I think that if you are somebody who is very, very fiery and you sometimes have outbursts that can get you in trouble, kind of thing, like you're not able to fully express yourself because of these sorts of outbursts, it could be here trying to warn you about the situation. That the advice that I think you need to take is that just be careful of how you word things and try to take your emotions out of this as best as possible to have the best possible outcome as well. So we are going to shuffle a few more cards to get any last messages for you guys. This is for group 3. Any final messages for their August predictions? The first one we have coming out, another flew out. So we're going to take this first one, which is Libra, and it says harmony, charming, and connection, which again, it being involved with this section here with the Hermit and everything is continue to stay connected to people. So those of you who make you feel in balance with yourself, or if you are able to kind of turn on that charm and make new friends, this is the time to have people in your life and really feel connected with others. And then we also have Sagittarius that came out, that just like flew out of the deck. And this one says spontaneous, energetic, and intellectual. So allow yourself to be happy and excited about things that are going on in your life. And if there's something new that you want to do, feel free to charge forward with it, kind of thing. And also, I'm feeling about this intellectual side of things is trying to lead with your head more than your heart about certain situations, especially the ones involving people, is try to think your way through these problems instead of relying on your emotions. We're also going to pull some self-care cards for you guys. So what self-care can we employ for August to help with group 3? This card wants to come out. It like flipped over, so we're going to pull it. This one is read. So if you are someone who likes to read books to kind of escape situations, or you're somebody who would love to do more research with things such as like kind of like self-improvement books or something like that, this could be a good time for you to read up on those sorts of things. It could also be that you can gain some knowledge about your situation by reading books that have to do with it. So I know that can be really hard to find certain things, but try to keep your eyes open for certain books that catch your eye that could help you through these situations. We also have the family card coming out. So this is so cute here, where definitely rely on your family during these times as well. So just like how I had mentioned before, is like, don't shut yourself out or anything. Definitely try to rely on those around you who can help you with the situation. I'm also getting the feeling too that like this doesn't have to be like your main like blood family. This can be like a found family as well. So if you're somebody who has friendships that you rely on far more than your regular family, then just make sure that you lean on them during this time. And lastly, I pulled sync with the moon. So this could be a really good time for you to notice the lunar cycles and kind of see when would be a good time to manifest new things in your life and also expel those things that you do not need in your life anymore as well. So maybe research that as well a little bit to kind of see when you could do certain rituals or anything, just so you can have a better handle on these things. I'm also going to pull one of these for any last messages. So we have, this card says, everywhere you go, you take you with you. You can't escape your stories. You can only change them. Love who you are here and now. And that's like really powerful for people who may be afraid about who they are in themselves. Just know that you are going to be your constant. So there are going to be people that are in your life who come for only a certain amount of time and then they leave. And you don't need to stay open for these people at all times. So if you do not want to have these people that are being spoken about back into your life, you don't have to worry about holding on to them. You just will like have those memories of those people, but you can change like where you are in your path as well, and you don't have to be stuck to your past. And just know, again, you are your only constant, that people will come and go and situations will come and go. So I think that this is just possibly a rough patch kind of thing that you have to deal with, but it's not something that is going to make up the majority of your life or take up a bunch of time in your life either. I'm also going to roll this Astro Dice for any last messages. So the first one we have coming up is Libra. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or could be indicative of really leaning on these traits of Libra a bit more as well during this time. We also have Pisces coming through. And lastly, we have Leo. So just remember that even if you're going through these hard times, you're seeing these weird red flags from people, or you're having to deal with some sort of communication with people where it's not quite, you're not seeing eye to eye kind of thing. This is just some rough patch right now, and that you will eventually be able to push past it. And I believe that you really do have that Queen of Pentacles spirit inside of you that's taking care of you. You're able to provide for yourself. So I think that you've got this. It's just kind of going to be a little bit weird, and this is some good advice just to hold on to throughout the month of August. So if you liked this reading or it resonates with you, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick a card readings in the future. And also, if you would like to, leave a book emoji in the comment box below to let myself and others know that you got this far in your reading. I hope you guys have an amazing August, and I will see you in our next video. Have a great day. Hello, group number 4. If you chose the Crow Tarot along with this Zebra Jasper, then this is going to be your reading all about your August predictions and what it is that's going to be going on in your life during this time. So with this Zebra Jasper crystal here, this can really help you see things, like see the truth beyond the illusions that are going on in your life. It can also truly help you to ground yourself, and it's great when you need to do spiritual or energy work. So I'm going to set this over here so you can view it during your reading. And to start off your reading, we have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position, the Two of Swords, the Tower reversed, the Magician upright, and then the Seven of Swords in the reverse position to end out your month. So I'm seeing this as a timeline. So this is the beginning, middle, and the end. And so starting off with the beginning of your month, we're seeing this Nine of Pentacles energy, this reverse of it, however, where there is some sort of, I'm feeling like an imbalance in your work and life balance, that there's something going on where you are putting so much into your work life. Like maybe you're working a lot of overtime or something, or you're trying to put in just more time into work, maybe to get noticed or something. Like you're trying to do more in order for you to get a promotion or something, and it's really pulling at other aspects of your life. So I'd say in the very beginning of August, just be careful about how much you are putting into work versus your family life and versus your all of your other stuff, like your social life and your mental health and everything. Make sure you are not trying to push yourself to the point of burnout. We're also seeing in this card that there could be some sort of financial setback as well. So it's possible that you are needing to make a bigger purchase than you would have wanted, or there's something where your savings account takes a bit of a hit. So just be very careful and conscious of your funds, especially towards the beginning of the month. Next, we're seeing in the Two of Swords that there is some choice that you have, and you are kind of at a stalemate because you don't have all the information that you need. You're not sure which way to go. In this card here, the Crow has a blindfold on, and they are stuck between the two swords, so they're not quite sure where they need to fly off to in order to escape the situation. That's that same sort of feeling, as there's this indecision happening because you have choices that you need to make, but because you don't have all the information or you don't know what's right for you, you're kind of sitting there in limbo, and it's making it hard for you to make that decision. However, what we're seeing in the center with the Tower reversed in the middle of your month is that whether you like it or not, there is going to be a decision that's going to be made for you. So the Tower is a very powerful card where it definitely indicates that there is some fear of change, but there is also some like internal change that needs to happen. So normally this card is about very sudden upset, very sudden change happening in your life. And normally when it's upright, this is very much a sudden change that you don't have control over. However, when it's reversed, it's very much an upset that's happening from within yourself, and you are coming to a realization about yourself because it's just being forced upon you. There's something that you're going through where you are thinking about it and you've been working through things, and you finally, it's kind of like you being fed up is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. This can also be you wanting to avoid change or wanting to avoid some sort of disaster, but it is going to be an inevitable moment that hits you, and it is going to come about as some sort of epiphany. So it's like, I don't want to scare you or anything, but I do think that while you are kind of trying to make this decision, you will eventually reach the point where you have to make a decision and it's going to hit you and you're going to move forward with this new decision. And then we see next to the Tower reverse, we have the Magician. And in the Magician, this is a beautiful card about you having all of the skills and resources that you need in order to accomplish all of your goals. This is you being in a position of power and also being able to focus on your goals as well. So the crow here has everything it needs to accomplish everything that it wants out of life. And so I'm seeing you coming out of this Tower moment with this clear mindset, and you're going to be able to push forward using all of your skills to find the best outcome for yourself. And towards the end of the month, we are seeing the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. And this can be about you dealing with some sort of mental obstacle. So it could be that you are thinking like maybe really harshly about yourself, or you're overthinking certain situations. But I'm also seeing this card as one about being able to break free from these mental challenges. So you're going to be able to navigate this with a sense of clarity. It's not something that you're going to be super stuck on. It's not something that you're going to waste a lot of time doing or anything. I think that you're going to be able to harness this power that you have from the Magician in order to make the decisions you need to make, and in order for you to pursue what it is that you want. So I'm going to pull a couple of cards to get some more answers. And the first I'd like to do is I want to hone in on group four's higher self and some advice that we can get from the higher self, just some guidance during this time. Maybe clear a couple things up. So firstly, we are seeing strength in the reverse position. So it's going to be more towards the beginning of this month. Then next we are seeing the Ten of Pentacles in the reversed position towards the center of the month. And then lastly, we have the six, my apologies, of Wands in the reverse position. So we're seeing here with strength reversed that you are going to use a lot of inner strength in order to work through things. So this could be about you having self-doubt or having an issue with like discipline and whatnot. But I also love to see the strength reversed as a card about you needing to rely on your inner willpower and your inner strength. So I'm seeing this as you being able to notice the situation that you're in and tap into that. It could definitely be talking about the fact that you are having the self-doubt with the Two of Swords on making a decision. So you're kind of a little bit stressed about that, but your higher self is trying to let you know that you do have the strength to persevere and push through this time. We're also seeing with the Ten of Pentacles reversed that in here, this can indicate some sort of financial loss. And it could also, and we'll talk about that one first, I suppose, because we have the Tower reversed. Maybe there's a situation going on where you need to make a decision on whether, like, what kind of money thing, because this is kind of like telling a story now where it's like you're putting so much time and energy into work, but you're not really seeing much of anything. So you're making a decision of, should I stay or should I go for something else? And this Tower reversed moment could really be indicative of maybe you're realizing, I have to leave this job and I have to get something else. And it could be that maybe you're leaving a job that you absolutely hate for one that you love, but you have like a financial hit. Like maybe it's not paying you as much, but it's absolutely something that you love. So you have to be not as tied to money in order to get to this point. But that's why it's really hard to make this decision. Or maybe you think like, oh, am I ever going to go further up in this company? But it's just not really giving you anything that you want, and so that's why you have to make this decision. So this card can deal with some sort of financial loss, so again, just be very careful with your money and investments during the beginning to the middle of the month. But it can also deal with you having a hard time when it comes to um, being able to connect with people. So you could feel very, very lonely, or there could be some sort of loss of like maybe a friendship or something, or if it is a loss of a job kind of thing, it could be indicative of that as well. But your higher self is seeing that as something that can potentially happen, and just to be aware of it. And then lastly, we have the Six of Wands in the reversed position. And with this one here, this card can really deal with someone who has this feeling of like as if they have like a lack of confidence and that they really aren't believing in themselves fully. And so I really think that with this card here, it's trying to let you know that you do have everything that you need with the Magician. It's trying to indicate, your higher self's trying to let you know that you do have all of these traits that you need in order to push forward, but you really have to believe it of yourself. Because we have the Seven of Swords here, where this was about you breaking free of those mental blocks and everything. So this card is trying to let you know that you do have everything and that you are going to be able to pursue your goals and make a more positive outcome for yourself in the future. I'm also going to pull just a few more cards, any last like advice cards, just in general, for the month of August, for group 4, any other advice cards. Firstly, we have the King of Swords. This one here is the Six of Cups in the reverse position. And then one last one. The Star in the reverse position. Okay, so with the King of Swords here, we are seeing that you are going to, the advice that we have for you is to try to have as clear thinking as possible when it comes to this situation. I know that's very hard considering we have the Two of Swords here, but the King is trying to let you know that you have all of the intellectual power that you need. You have the truth on your side, so you're going to be able to make the right decision. So whatever it is that you are trying to decide between, no matter what, the universe has you, and you are going to be able to make the right choices for yourself. He is here with this authority to take control of the situation, and so you're going to be able to reach that point that you need. Next, we have the Six of Cups reversed, and with this card here, this could be that maybe you're stuck in the past a little bit. Maybe you're thinking about issues that have gone on in your past, and that's why this Tower is coming up as an internal thing. So it could be that you are recognizing past times where you've maybe had to leave a job or something and you're too scared to do it again. And it's making you very, very nervous about how you can build yourself back up after this point. This can also try to be indicative of you possibly being unrealistic with yourself as well. So make sure that when you are doing your soul searching and you're really trying to listen to yourself, that you aren't trying to go so far as to be like, I'm gonna start making like $1 million a year. If you're not already one of those people, like you need to make sure that you aren't trying to jump ship to something else, and just keep things aligned with realism. The Another thing that I'm thinking of too is just make sure that you also are being realistic when it comes to what the tower is telling you, because it could be that this could be a point in time where you could be easily swayed and you could be talking yourself into or out of things very easily, because this card can sometimes come about when we're being a little bit naive about certain things too. So it could just be here to try to warn you a little bit about what's going on with the tower reversed. And then lastly, we have the star in the reverse position. And this card normally comes out when we are having just like a loss of faith. We really aren't believing in the things around us, and we're very much feeling discouraged by certain situations. So the advice that the card is trying to show us here is that we want to make sure that you are trying to keep hope alive within yourself. You're trying to stay inspired, and you're trying to push forward with this new sense of like this renewal in your life and everything. We don't want to try to be disappointed about things that have happened in our past that we didn't have control over, and just make sure you focus on the fact that you have all the skills that you need in order to progress and change things for the better. I'm going to pull just a couple more cards for you guys. Any last messages for group 4? Firstly, we have Root coming out, which says strength and grounded, which is an amazing thing for you guys to hear. We had strength showing up, where you need to have this strength in order to, I think, like just really keep yourself going, like really keep yourself motivated, having the willpower and everything, and keeping yourself grounded in reality too. Don't be unrealistic. So this is great for this segment here. Any further messages? We also have Scorpio. So this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or somebody within your life. Or it could be that you just need to focus on the traits of Scorpio, which they're honest, determined, and focused. So being determined especially is one of the biggest things. Like obviously you need to be honest with yourself, but I think you need to also like focus on your goals and just stay completely determined with what it is that you want out of life in order to make this change for yourself. So one or two more cards. First one is going to be these two self-care cards we're gonna pull. And the first one is going to be, it says sex. So this one here could be something that you need in order to really feel more connected to someone and something in your life. It's obviously something that is very intimate and very personal. So it could be that you are in need of having some sort of connection with another person to feel more grounded. And having that intimacy makes you feel more in control in your life. But if you're somebody that you either don't have a partner or you are not interested in this, then this could be more of a symbol of you needing to find something that brings you your own passion and intimacy to yourself. So think of things that you are just so heavily attracted to and try to sink your mind and attention into those things as well. So if you are not somebody that partakes in carnal pleasures, then it could just be indicative of you needing to put your focus into something that you are so very like passionate about. And then lastly, we have massage. This could go hand in hand, honestly, but it could also be that maybe you are in need of a massage. Maybe you use this as self-care or something. It could be also that if you are feeling really overworked, that massage could be coming out to let you know that there are these pressure points that are so built up from you having worked so hard that you really do need to focus on certain parts of your body. You can also just do like self massages like they're indicating on here. So like rubbing the palm of your hand or the center of your foot, or even back here by the nape of your neck. Those are really amazing pressure points for you to hit to kind of be able to reach a point of calm and rest. So we're going to pull one last card. Last message here. It says, give love, create love, be love, love, receive love, emanate love, speak love, anchor love. So in this one here, obviously love is a very big deal. I am getting from the fact that we had this card, massage card, and this one in the center, and this even root chakra too coming out, is that you could have a partner that you need to rely more on during this time as well, or you need to connect with more during this time, because I'm getting this feeling like this could be indicative for some of you that you do have such a strong partnership, and that this would really help you be able to feel more aligned with yourself and really help you feel like you have this sense of control as well. Because I'm just getting the feeling like this is trying to share with you that it's time for you to rely on them a bit more. Because with partnerships, it isn't just like you don't always have all the strength that another person has. Obviously you have this inner strength, but I do think that you need to rely on them just a little bit more as well. And lastly, I'm going to roll this Astro Dice for any last messages. We have Pisces coming out, so this could be your sun, moon, or rising, or someone in your life. We also have Capricorn. And lastly, we have Aries coming out. So just try to take it one step at a time. Do not overwork yourself, and absolutely know your worth when it comes to your job. Try not to keep your loyalties with one place if that is something that you are not feeling, and allow the Tower moment to come with as much grace as possible, because it's going to happen no matter what. Just try to exist within yourself and know that you do have the strength to push forward. And again, don't forget the Magician, that you do have the Magician there to help support you and let you know that you have all the tools that you need. So if you liked this reading, remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more tarot pick card readings in the future. And if you'd like to, remember to go down to the comment box and put a flower emoji in the comments to let myself and others know that you did get this far in your reading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing August, and I will see you in our next video. Have a great day.